There's a man in a wheelchair coming by.
Thank you. Where can I go? Glendale, please. Am I in the wrong town?
That's what I wonder. Let's see if Glendale trains their officers in ADA, because they should be moving for people with disabilities. Hey, what's up? So I'm gonna wait and then I'll tell you guys what happened here. So they're having him go into traffic instead of moving their vehicles. I know he's being escorted by an officer wearing a vest, but still, that's very dangerous. So that's Glendale PD. They don't know ADA. So basically I'm out here at the 2600 block next to Grand Canyon, the famous QT. I guess Glendale PD started a chase in their quote-unquote jurisdiction with unmarks, from what I'm hearing. I don't know exactly what happened, but I think the person stopped here at the QT and ended up getting barricaded by officers, and then something happened where it turned into an officer-involved shooting. I'm kind of upset because there's only Glendale PD here. I saw one Phoenix officer here. You'd think DPS would come or the sheriff to investigate, because definitely it's out of Glendale's jurisdiction. They're in the wrong city. They shouldn't even be here in Phoenix. The officers themselves have been fairly polite to me for the most part, so I haven't had to go spin Cobra on them. So I took some stringer shots. I will show you the car that I believe is in question. Let me lower my tripod. I'm on a tripod because I was shooting stringer. So, which I see the media here, the fake news is here. So, hey, what's up, Cher? So there's supposed to be a press conference across the street at DCU, the 2600 building. I see some media vans there, but I think they're trying to figure out their story right down here right now, because detectives are here with the officers. There was one Phoenix unit here when I arrived, but it left like a few minutes ago. So, and it's blazing hot. I have a hole in my sandal, so it's almost like I'm walking on hot concrete. So I need to go get my sandals upgraded. I realize that these are made in the US. I've had them for like 4 years. Hopefully I can find a decent pair of similar value. So there's the truck with its hood open, and I'm not sure if that's involved in this. I mean, so I don't think that truck's involved. I'm getting high temperature warnings. I thought I would get them, so that's why I didn't go live earlier. So if I cut out, more than likely I'm not arrested. But so there's this black car with the truck over here, and see how close it's touching the bumper. Like I think that's one of the undercovers the truck is, and I think that's actually the car, because they're pretty much boxed in here. So I think that's what happened. But the thing is, the police are escalating this because someone comes and starts following you, of course, like, yeah, maybe they have audible systems to say where the police stop, but anyone can say where the police just stop. So by agencies going to unmarked vehicles, especially ones that civilians usually use, this is going to cause not only civilian safety but officer safety to be compromised. So they're basically shooting themselves in their foot. Like this van over here, I think it's a Toyota van. Like that van is an unmarked right there, and it looks like something that grandma would drive. And it's like, hey, like, no wonder why people aren't stopping for you. No wonder why people are shooting back at you, because you're trying to act like the normal public, and you're not the public. So you're paid for by the public. I think we've established that they're not here for public safety, and that's why I support the public defunding of law enforcement. I don't support giving it back to government in the way of other programs like schools. But yeah, if you're trying to get to this QT, there's only one entrance that's really open, and it looks like they're gonna shut it down completely, maybe. So it's the rear side off of Black Canyon Highway. There's this little road over here. So they have pretty much this whole neighborhood next to this QT shut off. And I'm not going to wait for the press conference because we all know what they're going to say. Even though it's probably good to be there to catch them in a lie, but I'm just going to ask for an email statement because I have stuff to do. So I believe it ended at the gas pump, and there's nothing but Glendale Police Department out here. It's like 110 degrees right now, and I've been walking around this neighborhood, so I just kind of wanted to give you guys a heads up as to what's going on. It's still too hot to really film. I'm getting high temperature warning, so I'm gonna end the stream. I will go live if anything else happens, but other than that, I think I'm gonna actually hold up. I think they might be moving the press conference. I'll stay with you guys for a second. So there's Arizona Family Fake News. So let's see, we got DPS, I think, rolling in maybe. Nope. So DPS isn't even investigating. I know a lot of states outside of Arizona, when there's a critical incident, then a different agency investigates. I don't know if that really helps, because they're all part of the same brotherhood, part of the same organization, so it doesn't really matter who comes, if their monetary side is all bundled together. So, and obviously being part of the same organization with the same values, that doesn't help. So we're at a time where instead of asking to defund, which is okay to a degree, we might just want to ask to, I guess, decentralize and put more boundaries on law enforcement officers. to where if they do something that a public member would do, they would go to jail or receive some type of corporate civil penalty, which I'm not really asking for that either. It's tricky. I want to call for defunding the police, but it's like you gotta find a middle ground, because there's a lot of people that are freaking out over that phrase, and then when you tie it in with other parts of government, I know you're trying to make it look better, but at the end of the day, it's tax dollar funds that should go back to the taxpayer. And like, so I-17 and Camelback. Yeah, I agree with that as a person. I agree to completely defund law enforcement, with the exception of maybe one or two sheriffs, obviously elected, and then maybe have a couple of constables for real criminals, but there's really not that much crime. What's that? Yeah, I don't mind.
Can you see the car from here?
No, so you got to go up on Camelback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the black car, and there's a truck right behind it. So.
On this side?
Yeah. Do you know when the press conference is gonna start?
It already did.
Oh, it did?
With Glendale,
Okay.
they've turned over the investigation now to DPS.
Okay, I just saw. Yeah, I was wondering that too, because they're out of their
Yep.
city. So, what exactly did they say?
That they followed a car that was involved in a burglary a couple of days ago.
Okay.
They approached the car. I guess they were trying to take the driver into custody. He fought, pushed one of the detectives on the ground.
Okay.
He was seen reaching for the back,
Yeah.
and another detective saw that and shot to kill the suspect.
Oh, okay. So it's now fatality.
It's a
A
homicide.
homicide. Yeah.
Or officer involved.
Yeah. Well, obviously we won't know until the autopsy, but
Right.
Yep.
Right. Who you with?
independent.
Oh,
I'm
very
a
cool.
stringer. What's your name?
James.
Oh.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. Have a good day, man. So that's what they fed the mainstream news, but obviously it's their word against everyone else's. So. I would, but I know that's not reality, because the journalists themselves, like the people on the street, even though they could choose to stop working for the organization, the corporate organization, but there we go. I found a good shaded spot. So instead of working for the organization, they could go and start like Ben Swan did with ISE Media, and Ben Swan's been trying to like give the corporate look, but actually tell the news how it is with facts, instead of going off of a clipboard of what people want them to say. So if we get the media to quit their jobs in droves and get rid of these corporate-funded broadcasting companies, then that's when real messages will come out, because I could probably get on his camera, but at the end of the day, whoever edits it would not air it, more than likely. So.
What you doing, man? Staying cool, staying hydrated?
Yeah. Yep. It's Arizona, so. So not attacking me, so that's good. I'm so used to Phoenix, where I get near the tape and they growl at me like a dog. And Phoenix is one of my subscribers, so like you were getting better for a while, and it's hit or miss now, but no, this is I-17 and Camelback. It's a QT. This QT is usually pretty hopping with that activity here in the GCU area. So they're reopening the area right now, it looks like, and I guess DPS is investigating, but we all know when they're all part of the same organization. AZ Post certifies them, so technically they're all part of the same organization. They all get the same funding pools, so I don't really think impartial investigation will ever happen as long as this happens. So I think we need like third-party people, not just for these, but for accidents to come out and that aren't part of the insurance agency. And basically third-party organizations that have to compete to investigate, and then get rid of that part of the law enforcement. So they would investigate law enforcement too. And then a lot of people have been talking about insurance. You make them self-insure, or if you must keep the union, make the union insure the officers. That would increase union costs, because we all know where their funds come from. It's usually from RICO type of stuff. Like a lot of unions get their funds from criminals. So I really hope we get rid of the unions, and then I think law enforcement will be less, and they might end up like cleaning the force out. So yeah, this one, it's not the employees, even though they hired a guard recently. It's weird to say, but there's a lot of like transients in the area, quote unquote, and law enforcement obviously doesn't really like that. So they've had a lot of pressure. They've had a lot of pressure out here on this location. And I know it's next to GCU, but it's not really the nicest area. It's funny. And my ideas on schooling, government-funded schooling, isn't really popular with some people, but I think government in general creates a lot of crime. And by crime, I'm not talking about like where someone's using drugs or prostitution or any of that, but I'm talking more like where people are victimized, murder, rape, yeah, so they shot and killed the subject here. It is time. So I guess we need to we need to get one in Glendale, because there, as far as I know, there hasn't been a large protest in Glendale right now. So see, another truck that looks like anyone else. and he's driving like he doesn't care. I bet he runs stop signs and people think it's a normal truck. Because I know officers don't follow traffic rules. That's why if you get pulled over, you should be like, hey, you set a good example. Especially if you're in Arizona. Like, I don't see it as much in other places, but if you're in Arizona, then like more than likely the officers are out breaking tons of traffic rules. And then you'll look at their off-duty history and they'll have tons of traffic citations, but all of them are dismissed by the court because of their blue privilege. And we really need to end that. If you do something off the clock, you shouldn't be able to say, oh, I'm an officer, and get off. You should be held actually at a higher standard, because you're out there ticketing people, taking away their paychecks, and sometimes causing people to go homeless. So you should actually be held 10 times higher than the public. If we must keep the system. So I think the public, even pro-police members, should be asking for the same thing, to treat cops like regular people, because right now the government is treated like they're gods, and this is wrong. So I don't think anything else is going to happen. They already had their press conference. I didn't see anyone over there, so it must have been before I got here or before I started walking that way. But I have an idea that this area is going to be pretty shut down for most of the day. So if you're planning on going to QT out here, or this neighborhood, be mindful that the cops might be here all day. They're saying the DPS is investigating, but I haven't seen any marked DPS cars come in. And most of the vehicles I've seen have been unmarked, so yeah, I think we need to stop allowing them to use unmarked vehicles, so the detectives should have to drive marked vehicles so that people know that it's law enforcement. And it would be for officer safety too, pro-cop lover people who want to treat them like gods. But if you really care about your men in blue, you'd want them all to drive marked cars. And stop making traffic stops. And that's where a lot of officers die, actually, or get shot, because they're stopping people randomly on the side of the road. And half the time people don't even know it's an officer, because like here in Arizona, they're switching to all unmarked cars. So I don't want anyone to die, but at the end of the day, you guys are doing it to yourselves. Same with Phoenix PD and not wearing their traffic safety vests. If you walk into the middle of the road in your uniform, more than likely someone's not going to see you. And if you get struck because of your own stupidity, then that's kind of on you. So, like, yeah, I get it. They have families. They have lives outside the badge, but at the same time, a lot of them will take what they do on the badge time and think that they could use it for leverage in their personal life, and that's wrong. That's why I'm out here, because like, it's bad enough what you guys do in your professional quote unquote badge life, your blue life, and then you try to go take that out into your regular life. Like, it's not a person problem as much as it's an industry problem. And I don't hate all cops. Like, I've had some decent interactions today with some of these officers. I don't know if they're faking it or if they're being sincere, but at the end of the day, I don't hate any of these people, and I don't take it personal. Just, you're not doing the right thing. Like, you're creating public unsafety. And I know most, especially Phoenix, don't care. Glendale has been hit or miss. But Phoenix, like, a lot of your officers are kind of crazy. Yeah. Yep, there's too many. There's too many police, period, because if you look at FBI crime data showing that it peaked in 1970s, how many cops were there in 1970? Like, there weren't a lot. So I'm gonna cut out of this because I have other stuff to do, and it's probably gonna... Let me take another stringer shot because I think I actually have a decent picture right now. So I'm gonna end this live stream. Yeah. Yep. Like, this is usually what you'd see as a unmarked, but it's not like that here in Arizona. They have Honda Civics. I got booted. Yep, that was DPS. They're not very undercover, and that's probably why they try to hide using other cars.
Alright, buddy. Monday. Coffee. Sounds good. Definitely so. Sure you got enough water before I go?
So they have a coffee date. That guy was actually pretty respectful to me. So okay, I think I concluded my stringer footage. So is that who I think it is? What's up, Mexican Padilla? How are you, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. I don't know if it's hot where you're at, but it's hot here in Phoenix. Like, I think I'm gonna be out a bit more because this has been nonstop ever since the protest started. It's been officer-involved shooting left and right, and it's like, well, Well, I like people protesting and talking about defunding the police. At the end of the day, we got to do more. We got to take it out into the communities and basically talk to community members, um, and do our best to just be out there. You don't need to be aggressive towards anyone. Just having a camera here, obviously you have to stand your ground, like say if they try to get you to leave because this is public property. I've been doing a lot of mask audits. Actually, uh, I'm also doing some tech stuff, because I'm noticing carriers are making it to where you can't record phone calls anymore. Um, that or phone manufacturers. I'm trying to research why this is happening. I know Google in their Play Store has gone after a couple call recording apps. In a lot of states like Arizona, it's perfectly legal, and you do not need to give consent that you are recording, nor do you need to tell someone that you are recording. In other states like Oregon, Washington, and California, it's a two-party agreement. Um, they call them wiretap laws, but I guess if you, I haven't found a good argument because I've done it in Washington, and I haven't found a good argument because it does go against the First Amendment. Oh, Netflix. Are you in lockdown? If you're in Texas or California or wherever you might be, Arizona, they're trying to lock it down, but like a lot of people here don't really listen about that kind of stuff. Even with the mask, like some people will, and sadly it's getting more and more because all the corporate places are demanding that you wear a mask. Um, I don't. There's religious exemption. There's there's religious exemption. There's medical exemption, and there's mental health exemption. But if you got a medical or if you got a mental health issue, you don't need to claim that you have a mental health issue. You can just say medical issue, and by law they're not allowed to ask you what it is. So yeah, I will not either. I don't wear masks. So here. Mhm. See, so eventually I'll end up back in Boise, and I'm not saying why, but I need to get up there soon. Um, I guess in regards to filming, and I might cut that clip out to show that I don't go and put my camera into random people's faces just to piss them off like people think I do. That's not why I do this. I don't do it for views. I do it because there's people dying out here. And yeah, maybe I need to be more aggressive and out all the time. I am monetized, but I don't collect any funds from this. They won't allow me to take any of my funds due to some IRS problem. So instead of messing around and possibly getting the IRS on me, I just am not collecting. So it looks like the command vehicle is here. Glendale and not DPS. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream. Um, I'll come to you all later if anything happens. Signing out, Phoenix Cop Watch in Phoenix, Arizona. But it looks more like I'm in Glendale because there's a bunch of Glendale cops all over this hood. The more nationalist this country becomes, the more you're gonna see police agencies from a different city in your community, especially down here in Arizona. So there's a lot of socialism going on in America right now, and you're gonna see this more government everywhere you walk. It's very unchristian. I know a lot of quote-unquote Christians think that worshiping the state is okay, but you can only serve one master. And I know there's people that watch my streams that don't like when I talk about spiritual things, but at the end of the day, I'm called by God to talk about it. So if you don't like it, then you can choose not to watch it, but I prefer you to at least like listen and maybe go read the Bible or study, because I was recently at a libertarian festival. We were actually talking about the Bible and the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the non-aggression principle. We all agree that the non-aggression principle is a Christian value, or that it can coincide with Christian values. Because if Jesus was around today, he would probably support the non-aggression principle. And if you don't know anything about the non-aggression principle, please go look it up. It's a libertarian philosophy. The Libertarian Party bases their values on the non-aggression principle. It's also used in forms of anarchism. I know a lot of people think anarchy is chaos. Yes, there's in some dictionaries it's labeled as chaos, but anarchism is really just no government. Would it work? I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, we got to repair the damage that's going on, because it's not just the Pentagon and overseas. This is going on daily on our streets. People are getting shot by officers on our streets in our communities. A lot of times for not doing anything. Look at Ryan Whittaker. He was just answering his door. Obviously, he had people undesirables in his neighborhood. It was an officer involved shooting. They shot dude dead in here.
So a cop shot?
Yeah, shot a guy. I'm not sure exactly what happened. They're saying he was a subject in a burglary, and because he wouldn't stop, they shot him. So, yeah, and you notice it's Glendale. They're out of their jurisdiction.
Yeah, that's
So it's only Glendale cops right here. So,
wow.
yeah, I know.
No Phoenix?
Nope. There was one here, but it left, and they're saying that DPS is investigating, but I haven't really seen too many. So.
Oh no. Alright, sorry. Thank you.
No, it's fine. I'm finishing up my recording, so. All right.
I just saw everything and I wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know the QT. There's typically a lot of police activity because I film the police. I do Phoenix Cop Watch on YouTube. So yeah, I'm in this neighborhood once in a while because the cops are like really focused in here. Have a good day. All right, signing out. Phoenix Cop Watch in Phoenix, Arizona. You all have a good day.